Hey everyone, and welcome to Comic Breakdown. If you're new to the page, be sure to give us a like and a sub so you're not missing any of the content we have coming out. And today is Saturday, which means it is our indie comic weekends. If you are new to the page, we cover a indie comic every weekend, at least one. If it's a continuation or if it's a new series, all depends on you guys. So let me know down in the comments if you have a friend who has a comic, if you have an indie comic of yourself, if you want help promoting it, let me know. And if there's just an indie comic that you guys would like to read, be sure to leave the name down in the comments. I will check it out and we will get to it as soon as we can. Now, for today's indie comic, we are going to be getting into Kinetic issue number 3. Now, this is an indie comic coming from Y Comics. Now, if you guys haven't been checking out Kinetic, I'll leave a link in the description and at the top of the video so you can check out the playlist, find out everything Kinetic related that we have going on right now. This series was completed, I think, about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, and they currently just had a Kickstarter end, and we're going to be seeing a new series that picks up a couple years after following the series. Now, Kinetic dives us into a new world of superhero, and Kinetic has almost an energy-based kind of power, and he's really new to the scene. He's learning how to be a superhero, and we've had the introduction of Red Reaper. Now, the Red Reaper is also another vigilante that's kind of helping Kinetic along the way. And so without further ado, let's dive into this issue. So diving into Kinetic number 3, the Red Reaper and Kinetic decide to go take down a group of thugs. Now, we're not really sure what these guys are up to or what they have been doing, but they're at the docks. And our team arrives, and Kinetic literally launches their motorcycle at them. Which, personally, I think it's a little bit ridiculous to throw your only ways of transportation at the bad guy. You know, after this fight is done, your motorcycle probably won't be great. But they make their move. They go in, they start punching guys, they start taking these guys out. The Red Reaper goes and grabs the boss guy who has a giant bad guy scar going right down his face. And Red Reaper takes one to the chest. Now, while all this is happening, Kinetic's trying to fight off the rest of the goons that are here. And he's pretty much unable to make it to the mob boss before he's able to take off. But the mob boss left behind one guy. And Red Reaper has what appears to be a bulletproof vest, because he gets up and they start interrogating this guy. And they're just like, what do you know? Like, where is the girl? And so apparently there's some kind of human trafficking or something going on here, but the Red Reaper has his own agenda for doing what he's doing, even though we're not necessarily privy to the exact details about why he's doing this. And the thug really is just not giving up any information, not one bit of it. And so Red Reaper puts a gun to his head, and Red Reaper's about to just kill this guy, and Kinetic stops him. And he stops him by just punching the guy in the face, knocking him out, and then letting Red Reaper know, like, we can throw a tracker on him and track his location on where he's gonna go. And this is where we really see, like, Kinetic starting to come into his own as a superhero. The Red Reaper calls him soft. He didn't kill the guy, and that's what a lot of heroes are doing now, or at least in this world. Vigilantism is met with violence. The two go hand in hand. But at the end of the day, the Red Reaper acknowledges Kinetic as Kinetic and as a good hero. Now, picking up in a bar with a few individuals. Now one of these individuals is the one that works at Kinetic's bar. Or not so much bar, but that works for the family business. And so they're sitting here and they get invited to play a game of pool. And so they start playing pool, having a good time. And then one of them sexually assaults her. And she really just takes these 3 dudes out without an issue. And what I take away from this is we're getting an individual who's kind of not necessarily lost on her path, but she's lost in a sense. And I think that Kinetic and her are going to end up teaming up, and we're going to see a Kinetic team, essentially. Kind of like Arrow has, kind of like how, Batman has Alfred, things like that. We're going to see a family form here, a superhero family, if you will. Because she's definitely got the skills. She's got the know-how, in a dress, drunk, or at least buzzing. She beat 3 guys up. So that's gotta say something. Now, picking up later this evening, we have Kinetic on his motorcycle. And this is where, like I was saying earlier, you know, his motorcycle should have really been banged up. Like, he literally launched this thing doing like 50 miles per hour at some bad guys. You would think it's got some good knocks on it. But for the sake of the story and forward progression, his bike is intact. And he's heading down the road, and he's contemplating in his mind, you know, the Red Reaper was going to kill that guy. Like, without a doubt, that's what the Red Reaper had intended. And so he has a moral dilemma here. You know, he knows what they're doing isn't exactly legal, and he knows that they're bad people, but he doesn't want anyone dead. Like, he doesn't think anybody should die for the things that are happening or the things that they've committed, so on and so forth. Like, justice needs to be served, it needs to be had, it needs its time in court. And he worries here, like, you know, Red Reaper's an individual that he needs on his side. He wants on his side. Or at the very least, it's someone he doesn't want to go against, because he doesn't know the true capabilities of Red Reaper. Red Reaper's been doing this vigilante thing a little bit longer than he has. So, you know, that would be a devastating blow to what is. And while he's contemplating all of this, he sees red and blue lights behind him. And he's getting pulled over by a police officer. And not just any police officer, but he's getting pulled over by Officer Simmons. Officer Simmons was the one that was at the hospital that night. The night his brother was stabbed. And so he doesn't get recognized. He hightails it out of there. And the cop's in high pursuit. But he's on a motorcycle, so he's able to dip down some alleyways and hide behind a trash can. And as the cop passes him up, you know, that threat is going in the opposite direction. But right in front of him, he's got a new threat. And that threat is the Gentleman Killer. And the Gentleman Killer's just livid. You know, you broke the sacred ritual. Like, you're gonna die for it. And in an instant, these two are duking it out. And Kinetic's realizing how fast this guy is. Like, he's not getting hits on him, he's not getting any cuts on him, but he's fast. And it's getting really close. And this is where Kinetic, you know, realizes it's not taking much time. This fear that he had for the Gentleman Killer, you know, it's being taken over. And it's being taken over by rage. And he lied before. He does want someone dead. He wants the Gentleman Killer dead. And this is where he starts just wailing on him. Just face punch, face punch, face punch. You hear bones cracking. And then somebody grabs his fist. Not just any somebody, but the Red Reaper. And the Red Reaper really tells him, like, you don't want to do this, kid. Like, you can't be the one to deliver this justice. And Kinetic, you know, he's confused. He's like, you know, obviously still in rage and adrenaline fueled. He's like, you know, he doesn't deserve to live. And the Red Reaper's like, you're right. He doesn't deserve to live. And this is where Red Reaper takes his scythe and wields it up above his head, coming down to smash into the Gentleman Killer, and Kinetic stops him. And that will be where this issue ends. So I really do enjoy this comic so far. You know, this is a year one, if you will. We're seeing the rise of Kinetic and who he's going to become as a hero, where his morals stand, what kind of justice he's going to deal out. Is it going to be Punisher justice? Is it going to be Superman justice? You know, Superman's the epitome of hope and what is right, doing the right thing all the time. Even when the stakes are stacked against you. Even when you have vengeance in your heart. And that's really what we're seeing here. And we're seeing Red Reaper more as a Punisher type. He's more somebody who has killed and is going to continue to do it. And he'll do it even in situations like this. Where he's saving somebody from becoming the monster themselves. Like Kinetic. You know, he wants Kinetic to stay pure. He wants him to stay good. He wants him to stay innocent in the regards of getting to the point where you kill people and then you just can't stop yourself. And then that's your only way of dealing out justice is through violence. Through death. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You know, are you enjoying Kinetic so far? Have you even been keeping up on it? I really do enjoy it. It seems like it's a really good story moving forward, and I'm excited for the continuation that they have going on as well. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe to the page, and until the next video.